Hello and welcome to UNPL Week 3 battle versus TytheGuy. So this and the next few videos are going up very late because I was on vacation visiting some family in Japan, so I was gone for about 2 weeks, so I wasn't able to record anything. So everything's gonna be post-com, and they're gonna go up a bit late. But anyways, looking into my week 3 matchup, my opponent has some pretty strong mons, arguably considered top 1 mon in the format, Crocodile. I don't think it's top 1, but I've seen some people say it's top 1. Sloking, great defensive mon. Hawlucha has been going insane with its unburdened sets. Fortress is another great defensive mon, some huge witch passes. Kilowattra's great mon in general. And then there's that Thwacky to go with the Hawlucha, and it's a Terra Thwacky as well. Bag Mortar, Tatsugiri, Weirdeer with Terra, Revavroom, and Mischievous. The Revavroom is also a threat because I cannot hit it with an Earthquake because of that grassy terrain. I mean, I can, it'll just be regular effective because Earthquake is half, but you know. So that's the team. Overall, I think my team is a pretty decent matchup. I think his defensive mons don't do it too well. Into like I can deal with his defensive mons, and his offense, I think I can either out offense or deal with accordingly. So going into the team builder, we have, of course, Haxers, our GOAT, with Choice Scarf again this week, Ironhead, Outrage, X Scissor, and Earthquake. So let's see here. Yeah, I mean, this is just Scarf Haxers. I don't know what to say. What else to... Pretty simple Scarf Haxers set. Next is, again, a pretty normal Life Orb for Alligator set with Sheer Force, obviously. Dragon Ants, Liquidation, Crunch, and Aqua Jet. Liquidation and Crunch is the only coverage I need into my opponent's team. Aqua Jet's just for priority if I do need it and it comes down to it. Next is Mandibuzz with Heavy Duty Boots, Overcoat, Roost, U-Turn, Whirlwind, and Knockoff. This is also, again, a very basic, very defensive, physically defensive set. Yeah. Whirlwind just to Whirlwind out an unburdened Hawlucha, for example. Next is our Terra Captain, Sparky the Sceptile with Mirror Herb, Unburden, Terra Blast, a Leaf Blade, Bulldoze, and my fourth move I completely forgot to put on. I just forgot to put a fourth move on, and with Terra Ice. So the idea with Terra Ice is I really want to go like Terra Fairy or Terra Electric to hit the flying type in Hawlucha, but then I wouldn't be able to hit Kilowattrel if both of those came. But Ice does. I don't like the defensive type of Ice, but since I'll be outspeeding everything, it's like, whatever. I'll just Terra Blast Ice those two mons. And Mirror Bird is to copy the Swords Dance. I'm going to bait a Swords Dance from Hawlucha when it's unburdened. Copy the Swords Dance with my Mirror Herb. Get the Unburden. I'm faster than Hawlucha even with +2 from Hawlucha, because I naturally outspeed it. And kill with a Terra Ice, Terra Blast. And Bulldoze is for the Revavroom, Leaf Blade is for other coverage. Next is Hisuian Typhlosion with Adrenaline Orb, Frisk, Flamethrower, Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, and Calm Mind. This is kind of a bait, since Crocodile, if it's some kind of split F, is a decent, pretty good switch into my Typhlosion. So if other mons are weakened, or I can somehow find a way to set up some Calm Minds, and my opponent switches in Crocodile with Intimidate, I get the -1 attack, but with Adrenaline Orb, it gives me +1 speed if intimidated. So that's my plan with here. I get him +1 speed, +1 split F, and special attack, and then these 3 moves are just for overall coverage. Last but not least is my other Terra Captain, Sneasel here, with Terra Dark, Clear Amulet, Inner Focus, Knockoff, Triple Axle, Ice Shard, and Swords Dance. This is another pretty simple set. This speed tier, I decided to run Adamant just to underspeed his faster mons, because I can just run Adamant if I want to, and I think Ice Shard does a decent amount of damage if I get the +2. Clear Amulet's just for the Intimidators on his team. I want to keep my +2 Swords Dance. And yeah, so my plan is to mainly Terra with Sceptile, but if I do need it, I guess I could Terra with Sneasel. And that is my team for week 3 of the UNPL Spring Fling, and the battle will be soon. Alright, welcome to the battle from UNPL Spring Fling, week 3 versus TytheGuy. As I said in the Teambuilder, this is gonna be post-com because I was not here, I was away. So, yeah. Going in the battle instantly. Just something to look at. My opponent did bring Weird Ear. I did not expect Weird Ear at all, but it did come, and the other tier captain did not come. So that's an interesting thing to note. I do lead Feraligatr to Weird Ear because Feraligatr leads well into the entire team, except kind of for Weird Ear and TytheGuy. Weird Ear does lead, gets its Intimidate off. I don't like that. I do switch into Haxorus on like some interesting move, but it reveals Psy Shield Bash, so it's physical and Psy Shield Bash, which is the +1 defense, which my Haxorus doesn't deal too well with. I do expect the Terra, and I do Earthquake on the Terra Electric, and Psy Shield Bashes again, and I don't kill, so I switch into Mana Buzz on the Terra Blast. My opponent, good play on my opponent. I do Roost on the Terra Blast, which I'm faster, so I lose my Flying type. I think I U-turn here. Nope, I Whirlwind it out. Alright, I Whirlwind on the Crocodile switching into the Florges. U-turn on the Florges, because I don't know stand, into the Hisuian Typhlosion, which is a good type matchup in it. So here, I was thinking of whether to just switch out into my Feraligatr again. But I'm like, no, I don't want to get hit by a Moonblast if he does, if my opponent decides to click Moonblast. So I just decide to Calm Mind. Nope, I decided to Flamethrower first, gets the burn, which is kind of nice. My opponent just throw off a Wish. I switch into Feraligatr here on the Psychic, which I eat pretty well, all things considered. My Slowking does switch into, my opponent does switch into Slowking on Liquidation, but I do have Crunch, so I do knock it out with the Crunch. My TytheGuy comes in, Rapid Spins, probably expecting a switch, but I decided to stay in Crunch because I don't really have a switch in this mon. My opponent does Draco, gets the -2. So at this point, I bring in Sceptile, my opponent's Dracos, does around 50, which is not bad, and I just Leaf Blade here and get the kill. Hawlucha does come out. I do Terra Ice and Terra Blast since I am faster. Comes down at 97%. U-turns out into the Florges. So my opponent does not have Umberto Hawlucha in this game. They might with an item, but no no Thwacky means that there's no insta seed pop. So my idea with Swords Dance Unburden doesn't work too well. But goes into Florges. I switch to my Mana Buzz on the Wish, and I decide to Whirlwind it out this time because I expected to Calm Mind. I get into the Crocodile, which is a little annoying, and I think I decided to Whirlwind again. No, I knock off. Okay. So I knock off the leftovers, which is nice. My opponent's Scale Shots are really Scale Shot, so they could be Power Trip, bulk up Scale Shot, Power Trip. However, I Whirlwind them out again, just getting rid of these stat boosts. Back into Florges, I Roost on the Wish, so my opponent's trying to heal up probably Hawlucha here. I U-turn expecting a switch, however my opponent stays in. And Moonblast. That was a good switch on my part. So I think this is the scenario where I Calm Mind, and my opponent wishes again, okay. And my opponent stays in, I Calm Mind again. They Calm Mind. So here's a Calm Mind war starting here. I Calm Mind again. My opponent clicks Psychic. No Spit F drop. So I'm at +3 and that +1. The Shadow Ball is doing a decent amount, 42%, that's pretty good. Psychic is still only doing 18. I do click Flamethrower, my opponent does click Wish, but reveals to not have Protect after that Psychic and Moonblast. So I do pick it off with that. I do switch into Mana Buzz on the Hawlucha because it is completely free, and Hawlucha knocks itself out with Recoil. Opponent goes into Crocodile, and by the way, is Moxie, not Intimidate. So I do Whirlwind it out again, into here. Roost on a potential move, Terra Blast, again, yeah, Terra Blast Electric does nothing to my Mana Buzz. U-turn out into my Sneasel. Terra Blast, Does 81%, which is a lot. Knockoff's free, so I do knock off. And at this point, I can just triple axle and win the game. So triple axle hits once. Hits once. Which isn't good, because my Moxie and +1 speed now. Because I missed triple axle. But then the scale shot misses. And my U-turn comes out. And I go into Haxers. And I'm like, okay, if my opponent has EV to underspeed and just with the get +1, I outspeed, and I do outspeed with my choice scarf Haxers. So I did miss triple axle. However, my opponent ended up also missing a 90% move. So there we go. We got the win against TytheGuy. Going up 3-0 this week. Great start to my my season so far. And yeah, week 4 will be soon.